Right, new week at SPR. We've got CLS, engine management lights on, ABS, ESP lights on, and we couldn't get in the boot. Plugged it in, did some diagnosis. We've got a boost leak from one of the front boost pipes. We've got a broken wire to the boot, which I've already repaired to get the boot working. And ABS fault, we've got a pickup sensor issue. So we've inspected the drive shaft, and the ABS pickup ring, which is supposed to be around there, has completely corroded away. It's become detached, it's all in pieces in here. That's supposed to be a pickup ring. So we're going to replace the ring and the sensor, because generally the ring, once it comes detached and the drive shaft's going around, damages the sensor. Chances of getting the sensor out of the hub without damaging it are quite low, so we always quote for both. One of the boost pipes has burst, but we're going to change the pair. The car's done 130,000 miles. Chances are you're going to blow the other one at some point. We'll get this ring off, put a new one on it, get it all back together. As you can see, to get the drive shaft out, you've got to take the whole hub off. So we've got it on the hub stand. So that'll just keep that in a safe position. Ring off, got a special tool to press it back on, drive shaft back in, reassemble with the new sensor, and that should get the light off. So we have a special tool for this, so the ring sits inside. Put that on the drive shaft, and then use the nut to press it on. Right, that's the CLS all back together. It's not a regular, this is the first time we've ever seen this car. Perfect example with this car, and when you're doing jobs like this on cars you don't know, is we've done the ABS sensor, pickup ring, boost pipes, so that exposes us in areas of the car that we've not been before. We've never serviced this car, we've never health checked this car, we've never MOT'd the car. We found a really badly corroded brake pipe on the side that we're doing the work on. We've also found a broken spring, so naturally we checked the other side. It's got two rear broken springs. When Reese has done the boost pipes at the front of the car, you can see all the fan belt. The fan belt has completely deteriorated and is ready to snap really, due to the oil contamination that's been blowing out of the boost pipe. This puts us in tricky situations with customers, especially new customers, because naturally we're going to inform them that we've noticed these things, but then sometimes they think we're hunting around to find work or we're just pulling the car to pieces, and it's not the case. So yeah, I've done all that work, and now we're going to have to tell him about the other things we found, because you know they are dangerous. Fan belt snapping, you're going to break down. Spring's broken, it's broken in a really bad position, borderline not safe. Brake pipe, if that bursts, again another breakdown, potential accident. It puts us in a really bad situations. But that's that one done. Speak to the customer about what we found, what we've noticed, and move on to the next one. On that S-Class buyer's guide, he's like, where's Wally? Reese is becoming Where's Wally on our channel. Anyway, back from road test on the CLS. Everything's perfect. ABS, ESP light's gone off. I've just brought it back in. I need to clear the engine management light, but we've got full performance back. Customer didn't actually mention engine management light, so I presumed he thought it was related to the ABS fault, but obviously it wasn't. It had no power at all, but he didn't mention that, which is strange. Anyway, full power restored. So I'm just going to clear the faults. We've got screen wash light on the dash, so a little freebie. Just going to fill up the screen wash bottle. Just going to check his oil level and stuff, because it's not one of our cars, this, so just make sure they leave in the best condition they can, because we don't service this car. So we'll clear the codes, fill up the screen wash bottle, just check his levels and stuff with us not knowing this car, and then that's another one done. Sweet.
On the bottom.
So this is what I'm saying. I don't have to do this, but you know, he's had quite an expensive bill. I think it's about £1,000. Just check his levels. It's took about 2 litres of coolant and the oil's barely registering on the dipstick. You know, if we don't do that, you get the, since you did my ABS fault, my oil light's on the dash. Bash a litre in that, mate. Oh, nice in that sun, isn't it? Stand there for a minute. Get out of the Batman cave. Somebody commented saying, like, who picked the colour of the garage? It's horrible. It's like a bat cave. So I just put me. Enter the bat cave. Anyway. Next up, C63 has come in to us for a gearbox complaint. Gearbox is slipping. She's driving down the road. Revs are flaring up and then cutting back down. It's been to a few different garages, this, by the looks of it. No fault codes in the engine or gearbox relating to the customer's complaint. Made us suspicious straight away. So we took a sample of gearbox fluid out of it, and it's got the wrong gearbox fluid in it. So that raised suspicion. Somebody's already attempted to fix this. It should be blue transmission because it's got an MCT gearbox in it. It had red transmission fluid in it. I checked for software availability and it was up to date. That also raises suspicion that somebody has already had a crack at fixing it, because it's unusual that somebody would keep the software up to date unless you're having a problem. Like I say, first problem is it's the wrong fluid. It's red and it should be blue. And also it looks a bit creamy. We've left that for the day and there's a small head on it where I think we've had, like we've had in previous videos, coolant contamination from the radiator and it's gone in the gearbox fluid. So I think that's the problem with this. It's not going to be the only problem because it's got the wrong fluid in it, but I think that's going to need a radiator, gearbox rebuild, get the wrong fluid out. The clutch has been contaminated. So really, you should really be changing the clutch. But as we know from a previous video, they are on back order. We've actually already done the work on this car I'm sat in, but I thought I'd show you what we've done anyway. Can't capture everything because we're busy. CL63 AMG. Car came into me for engine management light was on. Driver's electric, heated, everything to do with the seat didn't work. None of the windows worked in the car. The mirror adjustment didn't work. All that stuff didn't work. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway. Brought the car in for diagnostics. Central locking. We didn't have any central locking. Brought the car in, put it on the machine, and this is a split charge battery system. The main battery, which is in the boot on this model, not on all of them,
was completely knackered. I was getting about 8 volts, which is just not sufficient for one of these at all. So basically, as the volts dropped, central locking stopped working, couldn't get in and out of the car. Engine management light was on because of low voltage to the engine control unit. So battery sorted that, central locking, engine management light done. Next fault we was looking at was all the seat and everything not working. Now this took me a while to diagnose actually. It wasn't as straightforward as I thought. Took all the door panel off, full door panel off. I didn't get any footage of it at all because when you're just in the zone, you're just working. The last thing I want is this camera. Anyway, thought I've got nothing going on in the door. Must have a broken wire or something. Anyway, checking everything, everything's fine. I unplugged the driver's door window switch and the seat started working and the mirrors started working. That gave me the conclusion that the window switch has failed that badly that it's shutting the whole door down. Everything stopped working because of that. Now they are all connected on like a ribbon wiring system, and I think somebody's coming to me on the phone.
Hello, did you say the A-class fuel flaps are on like a recall?
Yes, I believe so.
Right, okay.
Ring up and find out.
Yeah.
Back to business. This is what it's like, guys. These videos are not easy for me to do whatsoever. They're really difficult. A-class fuel flap actuators. Apparently there's a recall going on for them, so that'll be a customer that's rang inquiring about us doing it, and I'm going to send them there so they get it done for free. Anyway, so this was causing all my issues, so it's failed that badly that it's just shut the whole door down. So that's the first for me. I've replaced them for windows not working, but not the whole door, seats, mirrors and everything. So it took me a while to diagnose that one, but we got there. However, it did not fix the driver's rear window. That does not go down. It's got a fault with the rear control unit, which controls the back windows on these CLs. It's a really common fault to fail for the back windows not working. Rear left works, rear right doesn't. Customer is going to leave that for now. Once the job was all done, road tested and stuff, we discovered that the engine fan was running all the time. So it's like, oh my God, so we've just fixed what it's coming for, and we've developed another fault while the car's been sat here. Quick diagnostics and a bit of testing. We pinpointed the coolant temperature sensor was not reading correctly. It wasn't tallying up with a few other sensors, so the engine control unit basically puts the fan on as an emergency to make sure the car's not overheating. A simple fix for that, little temperature sensor, sorted that out. Yeah, just thought we'd show you this one, even though you can't see us actually doing anything. It's quite a rare car, so there you go. See what else we've got in store for the rest of the week.
So next in we've got a CLK. It's quite a famous CLK. JJ on Cars CLK.
Hello.
Obviously this is on our SPR Weekly. The full video for this car is going to be on JJ's channel, which we'll link in the description below, which is JJ on Cars.
Yeah.
We're not going to spoil it on ours, but we thought we'd add it in anyway. Good way for us to plug his channel. I think the video is going to be really good on this.
We've already agreed there's going to be nothing wrong with the car, it's all fine.
Yeah, there's going to be nothing wrong with it.
Look at it, it's fine.
Yeah, no spoilers, but it's going to be a good one. So click the link in the description, that'll take you over to the full video. New day on the SPR Weekly. Probably recognise this car behind me, CLA45 AMG. I think this was on weekly episode 1. We needed rear ABS sensors. They weren't available. Delivery date was December. Well, we finally got some. Delivery date's been moved forward. I'd say we've waited at least 2 months for these, 2 genuine ones. A lot of people said in the comments, why didn't you get aftermarket ones, etc, etc. Well, we did explore that option and all good manufacturers didn't have any available. The only ones available were like eBay specials with no brand. All the good stuff wasn't available. So when I say stuff's not available, we don't just ring Mercedes and they say no and that's the end of it. We do explore all options. So we can get this one done, get all the lights off the dash. And it'd be good to get this one done, finally, for the customer. Right, that's the CLA45, all lights off the dash, clean bill of health. Massive inconvenience for the customer that was, and us really. But yeah, glad to get this one sorted for him. It's amazing how many lights an ABS, shut up. It's amazing how many faults on the dash an ABS lead can cause, especially in these with the 4MATIC system. It just messes everything up. No warning on the dash. Get this one returned, job done. Next up, we've got in an E-Class. This is a bit of a comeback really. Did a service on it last week, and 5 days later the command unit is stuck on this warning message on the dash. Can't get into it at all, so we can't get into the radio or the sat nav. It's always a difficult one, this. Any mechanic that is watching this or garage owner will understand my frustration here. Since my service, the radio stopped working. Changing your oil and your oil filter and giving your car a health check doesn't stop the radio working, but it's always the case. Since my service, this has happened. Since my service, the cat's died, etc, etc. In fact, I've had 2 this week. This is one. Since my service, the radio stopped working. I've had another one on an email. My car's gone in limp mode. I wouldn't expect that to happen since I had a gearbox service 6 months ago. So the guy had a gearbox service 6 months ago and he's gone into engine limp mode. In fact, it turned out he had a problem with the diesel particulate filter, the DPF. If you're a garage owner, comment below what is the best since my service you've ever had, because I've had all of them over the years. I'm sure you have. So with this one, I've tried every reset option available on the diagnostics, not worked. I've tried disconnecting the battery for half an hour, reconnecting it, that's not worked, nothing's worked. So the only option I've got is to do a software update on the command unit itself. I don't know if that's going to fix it or not. I've said to the customer, look, this is not related to changing your oil in your engine. You know, you got to be charged for it, and I don't know if it's going to sort it. So we'll take you on this little journey with us. We'll put the software on it and see if it sorts it. To update a command unit takes ages. It takes between an hour and 2 hours. It's a really, really big update, so it takes up a position in the garage for a long time. So it's very inconvenient. But let's get it done and see what happens. Right, the update's finished on the E-Class for the frozen command screen. It took just over 2 hours. We had to download over 4 gigabytes of software and install. Fingers crossed. Ignition on. This is where it froze up before. And we're on. So we're back up and working. As you can see, check the sat nav's working, radio, media, no devices connected. Right, so that's a new one for me. I've not come across that situation before. One to look out for. If you get that, get the software updated, could fix it. Another one done, get this returned to the customer, job done. Right, next job we've just done is 221 S-Class S500 Designo Edition, which means you get a fancy paint job and you get different seats and leather combo. We didn't actually film doing any of this. We had a problem with the handbrake light flashing and we had a really bad gear change. Also, the car was revving on its own accord when it wanted to. We plugged the car in and we had faults with all 4 ABS sensors, which isn't unusual on one of these. Ooh. All the ABS sensors were for the handbrake playing up, ABS light was on, ESP light was on, slight fluctuation on the speedo when the car wasn't driving, and the bad gear shift / gearbox limp mode was the conductor plate, which we've also replaced. Which moves me on to the CL63 that we've just done. We had a fault for 3 ABS sensors on that, and we did some testing and only one was showing faulty, so we replaced the one. Customer came to collect it and his speedo was registering like 200 mile an hour, and we plugged it back in and we had to replace the rest of the ABS leads. So we had 2 cars this week with the same fault. Again, handbrake light flashing, wouldn't release sometimes it wouldn't release, sometimes it wouldn't engage, and the reason is one of these sensors have failed that bad it doesn't know if the car's stationary or not. CL and S-Class 221, if you get a fault with more than one sensor, just change all 4. Whereas I've tried to be the hero here and it's backfired. But yeah, this one did have a fault with all 4, so we changed them all. The CL had a fault with 3. One wasn't getting a speed signal at the time of testing. We replaced that one. Guy picked it up and had another fault. So I've not seen this fault for ages, but it just shows you we've had 2 in the same week, same problem. Right, next up we've got a 230 SL. We've done a buyer's guide on 230 SLs. We've done the famous SBC pump. We had error message on the dash, service break, visit workshop. Plugged it in, did a diagnosis, and the pump wasn't holding enough pressure in the system. It was holding it like 150 bar and just scaling all the way down. So we've had to fit a new pump, fit, program, bleed, carry out everything that needs to be done. That's that one back on the road. Total cost for the pump on its own is £2,000 plus the VAT. They used to be about £1,000 a few years back. They're now £2,000. Got a bit of an SL day actually. So we've got this in, SBC pump's done. We've got an SL 600 V12 bi turbo outside, which no one really likes working on. They're really rare cars, but we're doing a load of suspension on that. We'll try and get that in and show you what we're doing on that. We've also got a 210 E55 AMG, another rare car for a water pump, quite a common issue on the M113 engine. So here's the old SBC unit. I'd highly recommend, if they're available, just replace them. Don't try and get them repaired, overhauled and all that nonsense. I've seen so many of them either not work or fail. You don't want to mess about with brakes. I have driven a car and an SBC pump's failed on me. It is not nice. The brake pedal literally disappears to the floor. I think you lose about 80% of your pedal. Also, this week at the garage isn't actually this week. It's a concoction of about 3 or 4 weeks because we've been so busy. We've not been able to film anything. We usually do like a before, what's going on in the middle, and the end it's literally been before and after, or just after this car's had this and that's it. It's free. Probably won't be the best one, but it's better than nothing. So like I say, I was going to scrap this week, but well, no, I'm going to try and salvage it because somebody might take something away from it, somebody might learn something, it might help someone out in the future, so I thought, no, it's tough, they can't all be good. He's just stood watching, laughing. Right. Right, we've got the E55 in, 210 E55 for a new water pump. This pump is absolutely knackered. We've tried to show it, you can probably hear that. It is absolutely done in. So we've had a new pump, belt, tensioner, pulley. Nearly completed that job, pretty much. Just got a few finishing touches to do. That's that one. SL600 V12 bi-turbo has had a service, gearbox service, and a bit of a suspension refresh. In the buyer's guide, I was trying to explain that you'd only need some simple suspension components on these and it would cost a fortune, and sure enough, this has required 4 suspension arms, 2 lower ball joints. I think the total bill for the B service, the gearbox service and all the suspension work's like £3,000. It's a lot of money, but it's an expensive car. The V12 must have been 80, 90, £100,000 new, I don't know, but it's an expensive car anyway. So that kind of concludes this week at SPR. Like I say, it's been a bit of a mismatch this. We was going to scrap it, but we thought, no, we'll keep it going. Oh, I've had a gift delivered in the mail, which I'd like to show you because I don't know who it's from, and I'd like to say thanks. Yeah, just keep it rolling, and I'll just speed it up. Like, somebody has sent me this bottle of wine with a message saying, a token gesture for coming to the rescue with advice on my CLA45 AMG. Now, I have no idea who that is, so if you're a viewer, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's a lovely gift set. Look at that. I go in great detail replying to some of the emails, and a lot of the times I just get completely blanked, so I do really appreciate that, whoever that is. It's not the guy that we did the CLK 55 AMG video on, because he sent us a massive delivery of beer, literally, and as the truck pulled up and filled the office with beer. So thanks to Phil, whose car that was, but this is somebody else. So if that's you, thank you very much. There can't be many people that I've given advice to on CLK 55s because there's not many about in the first place. But that is tip top, makes us know that we're appreciated, because like I say, it's amazing how many people just ghost us after we've gone through the effort of responding. So yeah, that concludes this week at the garage. Don't forget to like and subscribe and everything that you're supposed to do. And we'll see you on the next one.